Okay, so welcome everyone to our Live with Leadership. As you guys know, it is Make a Difference Month, and our why is to impact people's lives by making a difference every day. And we started the company really with the mission to be an industry leader, providing the highest non-medical home care while giving back to our community. And so all that being said, this month, as you guys know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our senior care reason for connecting with our hospitals is really to raise awareness with our Know Your Lemons Foundation partner. And so we have a special guest with us today, and as you guys may have seen, there have been several Laps for Lemons emails that have been going out because we have had 7 teams at this point who have reached their 60-mile marker. I see some of you guys who've already on this call who've already put in your Know Your Lemons mug orders. And so congratulations if you've reached your 60 miles with your team. Feel free to keep posting those. And we are super excited to welcome Dr. Corrine Ellsworth-Beaumont, the Know Your Lemons CEO. We are so excited to have her here, not just because of the focus for this month, but also as a female leader to kind of speak to her experience over the last several years since Know Your Lemons has started, and really her journey along the way, and also what we can be doing to know our lemons a little bit better. So all that being said, Corrine, I'll go ahead and make you a co-host here, so that way you can start sharing your screen. But if you can just start us off with, who are you and how did you end up doing what you're doing today? Where did Know Your Lemons start from? Tell us the backstory.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here and talk to you. I'm hoping today can be more of a discussion and less just me talking at you, because it's so hard to keep our focus when someone's just sharing stuff. That being said, I'm very visual, so I'll be showing pictures as I'm talking as well. So, but feel free to stop me at any point and ask me questions. We're also going to do a Q&A afterwards as well. So let me share my screen as I tell you my story. All right, there we go. Is it up full screen and working for everyone? Okay, great.
Perfect.
So I am the CEO of the Know Your Lemons Foundation, and I'm also the designer behind our Know Your Lemons campaign. This is me and my daughter and our dog, Daisy. We live in Salt Lake right now. But before that, I was born and raised in Idaho. My dad is an inventor and also raised potatoes, and my mom is a pianist. So I grew up in a pretty creative family, and this is my dad on a tractor in Japan. I lived for 12 years in the UK, and I'm a dual citizen, and that is where I got my PhD in design thinking for healthcare. And design thinking just means it's a patient-centric way of solving problems and understanding problems. So every once in a while you might hear a British accent come out during the call. that's why. This is my 8-year-old. She's been on 84 flights so far, and we love to travel. So this is us in Switzerland, and we bring our sketchbooks with us, and we always take a few hours during our trips to just sit and sketch together.
So awesome.
So I was a design and business professor in London, and I was working on this Know Your Lemons project as part of my PhD, and I finished my PhD, and I was doing more research on how I could better communicate and help women find breast cancer earlier. And my department said, we only want you to research business. And so I told them I would rather quit my job than quit this project. So that's when I started the charity. I just become a new single mom, and I was getting rid of my reliable income. So it sounds like a crazy decision to make, but it's about taking that leap and recognizing that moment of like when you need to do something because it's important and not because it's just like the logical move to make. And I'm really glad I did. So a year later, this happened. This is me sitting on the couch at the BBC, and they were interviewing me about why my work had gone so viral. Since 2017, we've reached over 1 billion people online with the Know Your Lemons campaign. I started this with $7,000 of my own savings. And today we have 2 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees, a large advisory board. The campaign's in 22 languages. It's being used in 90 countries, and we got a Webby Award for the app I designed. So it's been pretty amazing. So, you don't see these things before you take that leap, but sometimes you just have to trust your instincts and say, I think this is something that needs to be done. Thanks for the shout out on the lemon necklace. That is the most important part of this outfit. And then last year we became an associated member of the United Nations Department of Global Communications. So the United Nations has these sustainability goals, and one of them is to improve health and well-being. And we're aligned under that goal for breast cancer by educating more people for early detection.
Corinne, can I ask you a quick question?
Quiz. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As you were talking, I just thought about, we were thinking about professional risk, and you talked about the risk taking you took to go out on a limb, take your $7,000 of savings and start something new. What were the things that you were weighing out before you made that decision?
I was really coming to a crossroads where it was choosing between something that gave me joy or something that gave me stability. And it was me having to give up stability to get joy until I got stability back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And a year later you did, I'm sure, or at least it started, I'm hoping.
Yeah. So when things went viral, it was in January 2017. What happened was I had a cousin that said, hey, did you see that you're on today? Is the website. And I was like, no. So I looked, and it was like a nice little story about us. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. And didn't really think too much of it. And then I started getting like messages coming in saying, how come your website's not up? And then so I looked, and like the website had crashed, and I looked at all these blogs.
That's a thing.
And saw that so many people were coming to visit the website, it crashed.
Wow.
So I ended up having to redesign the entire website overnight. I got a Squarespace account and just did it in 8 hours, redid the whole website. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I remember it was Sunday, and I saw that we were, that the story about the work I'd done was like one of the top 5 stories on the BBC website. So they put the story out on Sunday morning, which is like peak newspaper reading time. And it was trending above the Trump story. I didn't know that was possible.
Wow.
So that was fun.
You trumped Trump?
I trumped Trump for a few hours one day back in 2017 in England. It's a very specific list of criteria, but and so I thought, oh, well, that's really nice, and they interviewed me, and CNN interviewed me and stuff. And then I got home from church, and I thought, I'm not going to check my email. I just need to take a break. Like, today's my day. And totally blew that goal and just looked at my email. And I'm glad I did, because it's a letter from the BBC saying, hey, we want to interview you tomorrow morning. Can you contact us? And so I'm like, okay. So I call them up, and they're like, yes, like, we'll pay for your train to come. And I only live like 20 minutes outside of London. So I'm like, oh, I'll just like come in the morning. And they're like, oh, we're in Manchester, which is like across the country. So I was like, oh, so I'm like, I have to figure out childcare. And then there was a train strike. So I had to like get a taxi like to another train line in a different town. And then anyway, and so I ended up getting to Manchester at like midnight. And then I was up at 5 a.m. for the breakfast show, and then
Wow.
sat on the couch. So that was really fun to kind of like do that interview, and it went really well. And then I like took a minute after the interview, and I was like having croissant and orange juice, and I checked my email, and it's another news station saying, "We want you on the lunchtime program. We're in London." So then I had to like get on a train and then go there, and then my phone died, and it was like this whole thing. But it was pretty fun. But for 3 weeks, it was just constant emails, and I couldn't keep up with all the news outlets like asking for information. It was all these different countries. And then I would see something was trending in Russia, and then something was like trending in like Peru, and it just kind of went all over the place. So that was really exciting that we were able to educate so many people just through people sharing and being interested in the story and seeing just how unique and different of an approach it was and how useful it was.
That's amazing. Yeah. I'm super curious. So what makes you care so much? I'm pretty sure you're going to go into quiz time because I don't know if that relates.
Yeah, no. So both of my grandmothers died from breast cancer. My dad's mother died when he was 12. There were 5 kids in his family. He was the oldest son, so he took over the farm at that point. And just his work ethic stems from that. And then my mom's mother died from breast cancer when I was getting my master's degree in design. So when you get a master's degree in design, you have to also like come up with a project that you're going to be doing for 3 years. So at the same time, I was trying to figure out, I think this is an issue that impacts my family and maybe my health. And like, should I be getting mammograms now? Is it more at risk if I have 2 grandmothers? So I did a lot of like looking up information and stuff, and just realizing everything's really poorly designed. I mean, nobody says I'm going to like snuggle up with a nice, like leaflet from the doctor's office talking about breast health, right? So I thought, how could design like make an impact for that? So I'll go into that in a little bit, but that's why I'm so passionate, because my grandmother's and also a childhood friend I grew up with was diagnosed at age 28, and then she died from breast cancer. So there's so much work to be done in this area, and yeah, so
yeah,
thanks for asking that.
Yeah.
All right, okay, quiz time. All right, how often around the world do you think a woman is told you have breast cancer? So every 15 seconds, every minute, every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes. Those are your options.
Gavin says once every 30 seconds. Nora thinks every minute, 15 seconds. Let's see here.
Looks like Gavin changed his answer to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Answers locked in. Let's see who goes to the next round. All right, every 15 seconds.
Wow.
It's the most common cancer for women worldwide by far. And every 5 minutes, 6 women die from breast cancer. So while we've heard about breast cancer a lot, and you might have think that everything's been taken care of, there's still a lot that we need to do. Okay, so here's the question. How many people diagnosed with breast cancer have a family history of the disease?
– 140% for Michelle. Or 40. Okay, they're all over the board.
The answer is 15%.
Wow.
So very few people who are diagnosed with breast cancer have a family history of it. So we hear a lot, oh, it doesn't run in my family, so it's not something I'm that concerned about. And, while you shouldn't be afraid, you should also be aware and not just think it can't happen to you, because most women who get it are the first in their family. And then also 1% of breast cancer cases are men. So it's something that can happen to men as well, because they also have breast tissue. All right, so what do you think helps women find cancer in earlier stages? This is just a free question, free response. But this is the difference in survival rates between different stages, and why early detection is so important.
Self-check. Nancy says self-check. So does Michelle. Self-exam from Nora. Yeah. Know your lemons, says Daryl.
Thank you for the shout out. All right, great. Yeah, so there's two things. Knowing the symptoms, being familiar with your own body and reporting a change, and getting screened when you have no symptoms, when you're at screening age. So those are the two things that can actually reduce your chance from dying by 60%. So we're 100% focused on education and helping people feel confident and knowledgeable of when it's time to get screened. So here's like a common site that we see when we think of like breast cancer awareness, right? People wearing pink, people doing runs, raising money. All of that is really, really great. But we surveyed 19,000 women, and any guess what percentage knew all the signs of breast cancer? I think Emma already knows the answer to this one. 2% of women know all the signs of breast cancer. So we're very aware breast cancer exists, but we actually don't know the information we need to find it early, which is the most important thing when it comes to surviving breast cancer. So today on this call, we're going to change that. I think you guys are already familiar with this image, but knowing these 12 symptoms is so important. But in relationship to this, a mammogram can find a hard lump before it can be felt. So if you think about, knowing the symptoms, it's not just about doing self-exams and you're good. It's about doing self-exams, and then when it's time to get screened, doing that because it can find it before you can feel it. So this is what our campaign looks like in different languages. As you can see, it doesn't change except for a couple words. This is Dutch, this is French, this is Italian, Japanese. So because we can show the campaign in the same way, it allows us to gain traction across lots of different markets. Whereas other initiatives kind of use the pink ribbon and then they kind of tie some information with it, but that information looks different with every single audience. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how this works. So this is women in India with our materials learning about early detection. So the problem with breast cancer is this, like breasts are often associated with sex, which means it's really difficult to show breasts in public. Cancer is often associated with death, which means it's really hard to talk about. It's a topic that brings fear to a lot of people and they're uncomfortable with it. And because it's hard to show, it's hard to say, then pretty much all of the information about it is put down in words. So if you don't have a good literacy level, none of this information is accessible to you, and that's what's been happening for decades. Or if you're just not interested or you don't have the time to get all the information, then it's also not accessible to you because it's not engaging. So these are the three taboos, these are the three barriers that I considered as I came up with a solution that would work to be visual. So by using these two lemons, this says breasts without having to show breasts. And by doing this, this says breast cancer and tells you what a cancerous lump feels like without me having to say anything. So this is pretty powerful when you can communicate kind of a complicated, fearful, taboo topic in just a few seconds in a cheerful, friendly way. Then that really like brings down those barriers that are holding people back from feeling knowledgeable or confident to do something if they notice a change. So I just thought on the call today, we could like all raise our hands together. And then if you put your 3 middle fingers together, that is about the average size lump found by accident, is the width of 3 fingers. That's kind of surprising, isn't it? And if you put up your thumb, the average size lump found through a regular self-exam is like the tip of your thumb. And that's a lot smaller than by accident. So right there you can see the advantage between not doing self-exam and doing self-exam. And then the next one is if you put up your index finger, that tip of your index finger is the average size lump found with 1 mammogram. And then if you put up your pinky finger, the tip of your pinky finger is the average size lump found when you have multiple mammograms to compare. So what happens is a mammogram is an x-ray of the breast. And if you have a couple pictures of, you know, over time, this is what the breast has looked like. If there's a change, it's much easier to look at a previous photo and go, oh, this wasn't here last time. And then they can spot it earlier. So that's why like just getting screened once isn't very useful. It's about getting screened regularly. And right now with COVID, that's not happening. So make sure you're encouraging family and friends who are at screening age, which is age 40 plus, to make sure that they're still going out and getting their mammograms, because that might save their life right now. Okay, so this is a video.
Hi, I'm the mayor of Lemonland, and I'm here to help you know your lemons.
Sorry, I was going to introduce this and it just like jumped into start playing. Okay, so this is like a quick 3-minute video that tells you everything you need to know for early detection and talks about like tests and stuff like that. And then you're going to see this hand thing again. So hopefully it will just be like hardwired into your memory now, like self-exams and mammograms are super important. We'll watch the video, and then if you have any comments to make after it, like please let me know. Okay, let me rewind just 8 seconds. Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm the mayor of Lemonland, and I'm here to help you know your lemons with my friend, Mona Lisa.
I've been checking my lemons for 500 years and have a lot to tell you. A cancerous lump is a lot like a lemon seed because it often feels hard and immovable. It can be any shape or size. This is the lump you investigate. There are 2 innocent lumps to know. One lump feels like a soft pea. These are your milk lobes, normal. Another lump feels like a soft bean. These are your lymph nodes, also normal. But you need to know how to feel around for these good and not so good lumps. Mayor, do your thing.
Thanks, Mona. Use your 3 middle fingers in circular or up and down motions. Use 3 levels of pressure, light, medium, then deep enough to fill your ribs. Also, fill under the nipple. You need to cover an area that includes your lymph nodes. So start in your armpit, then to your collarbone, and finally work your way down to the bottom of your ribs. Use 2 positions. 1, lay down with your arm behind your head. This flattens everything. 2, bend forward. This brings everything to the front. Finally, look for changes in front of a mirror. Move your arms up and down and turn to the side. See if the whole breast skin moves with you as you move your arms.
And look for these changes.
Because a lump is not the only sign.
Grazie, Mayor. The best time to feel around is 3 days after the end of your period, when everything is most normal. No period? Pick any day you like, consistently each month. Your risk increases with age, so stick with it. I've been checking my lemons, but it's not enough. I also get regular mammograms because a mammogram can find a cancerous lump before it can be felt. Just look at my hand to learn the difference. This is the average size of a lump found by accident. A lump through self-exam. A lump found with one mammogram. But with several mammograms to compare changes, the lump can be the smallest. If cancer is present in the breast, 8 times out of 10, a mammogram can find it. But if the results come back normal and you're still concerned about something, or if you're too young for a mammogram, ask about an ultrasound if you have a specific lump in mind, or get a new view with an MRI. But the only way to determine if it's cancer is to actually look at the cells, which is through a biopsy. Most lumps turn out to be fine, so don't panic if you need to check it out to be sure. Trust your instincts and know your options. When breast cancer is found early, survival rates are very high. Knowing that I've educated you makes me smile.
Share this app with a friend today at knowyourlemons.com.
So see you later. Bye, everybody.
No. Before you go, I know some people might have a hard stop. So if you do have a hard stop, feel free to jump off. But I did ping, and you guys may have seen that. I think we want to ask just like one or two questions. And Corrine, was that your
I was kidding about saying I'm gone. I was just trying to say
good.
like, that video's taught you everything you need to know. Like I do have a couple more things to say. Yeah, if there's any questions right now, we can break for questions, and then I can like kind of say the rest, or I can keep going.
Let's just I know some people are jumping off real quick, and I do want to do the lemon challenge if we can. So actually maybe I'll let Amherst ask a question, and then we'll ask the how we can get involved. Would that work out?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. All right, Amherst, go right ahead.
Thank you. So I just was curious what your vision is for Know Your Lemons and like where you see your company going over the next few years.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just stop my screen share. So right now this year we launched a new program, which is our Global Educator Program, and we train volunteers to be breast health educators in their communities through an online course. So we launched this in March. We have about 140 educators now who are trained in 28 countries, which is really exciting. So like one story of an educator that we have is she took the Know Your Lemons education kit that we made, and through donations we were able to give to her and do the training with her. And she talked to a group of 40 women entrepreneurs in Kenya, and at the end of the class, 3 women came up to her and said, I have those symptoms on the poster. So she helped them find where they could get tested, and all 3 of them came back as having breast cancer. And so if Brenda hadn't been trained, if she didn't have these tools to go out and teach, those 3 women wouldn't have been diagnosed because they had no idea that they had a symptom. So Brenda, in 3 days, educated 3 schools, boys and girls, and was able to educate this group of women. And there were hundreds of people now who have this information and can easily share it with other people. So we have 3 different programs that we do. So that's the educator, like volunteer training program that we do. We have our Know Your Lemons app, which I just talked about. This has a period tracker on it, so you can use it as a period tracker, and it tells you like when it's time to do your self-exam, and it also tells you like what your risk level is and when you should start getting screened, which is super helpful. And then we have an audio guide on the app where Mona Lisa talks you through step by step how to do a self-exam, because different parts of the breast feel differently. And like, we don't really talk about this in school. So it's like all the stuff you should have been told at school, but no one did because haha, boobies, too hard to talk about. So we're like unraveling that. We're like, okay, let's talk about breasts. Let's get the information out there, because 1 in 8 women are getting breast cancer, and we're not armed with the information we need to find it early. And then the last one is our Know Your Lemons campaign. So we're always translating it into new languages. This week we're translating it into Swahili. which was really exciting. And then we've been doing studies on our work. So we did a study in the Netherlands this last year and found that there was a correlation between women seeing our campaign and fewer diagnoses in stage 4. So there's something about our campaign that's helping reduce women getting diagnosed at the very late stage. So we're looking more ways into how we can improve that for people and educate everyone. That's our goal, is to educate every person about it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, and really awesome to hear those types of stats behind your campaign, and basically how many people you are able to educate and reach, and therefore save their lives. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So I know you talked about how we can get involved, and I know one of the ways is the Know Your Lemons challenge, right? I don't know if any of you guys were able to get your lemons. We're going to be donating not just with the mugs that we're purchasing, but also with this Know Your Lemons challenge. So I'm going to share my screen. It has a countdown. Thank you, Daryl. And then Corrine, tell me if I'm right. Are you supposed to like bite down on it, like not cut up? Because I cut mine up knowing that I have sensitivity. Okay, cut them. Okay.
Mine is cut up, so I just do the lemon smile.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the timer here. You guys, I found this song called When Life Gives Me Lemons. It's like a childish song, but I'm gonna play it in the background. And also, let's go ahead and get started. Corrine, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Looking forward to this challenge to see how long we can go. All right. Lemons, I'll make lemonade. Lemons, I'll make lemonade. Thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I was just going to say, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You just following us and sharing our images might save a family member or a friend's life. So please do that. And then if you didn't, sorry, the lemon trying to talk. For the Know Your Lemons challenge, what you're supposed to do is download the Know Your Lemons app and learn the 12 signs of breast cancer, which you all have today. And then you suck a lemon for 12 seconds to raise awareness that there's more than a lump. There's 12 signs. And then we ask that you donate $12 to the Know Your Lemons Foundation to help us do our work for 12 months of the year, and then tag your friends in the challenge. So if you would do that with us, like, we would be honored. We love, working with people and like raising awareness. And it's just such a fun, simple way of spreading awareness and a little bit of joy as well. So thank you so much for letting me be here and talking with you, and hope to see you on Instagram.
Thank you so much. And if you guys don't mind smiling, I'm going to take a quick photo of everyone here. And if you do want to put your lemons in the air, feel free, not your other lemons, these lemons if you used it. And then I'll share on social media as well of our reactions as we tried that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Corrine. We appreciated you sharing your story and just the good work that you guys are doing at Know Your Lemons Foundation. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. And thanks for sticking through and doing the challenge with us. Have a great rest of the day, guys, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Corrine.
Thank you.
Bye.